I'm not a scientist. I'm not an expert in footballs. I'm not an expert in football measurements.
I don't want anyone rubbing them, putting any air in them, taking any air out. To me, those balls are perfect, and that's what I expect from a goal. I can't hold on to football. So goddamn hard about holding on to it.
August 11th, 2025, and with the first NFL game now weeks away, it is time to officially declare we are now in draft season. Today, the Fantasy Millionaires are ready to help you get the most out of rounds 2 through 4. And having just got back from the Fantasy Football Expo and having picked the brains of some of the industry's best, we are locked and loaded to give you our braids and fades for these rounds in 2025. Stacks, what a weekend.
Oh, my goodness. My voice, you'll hear it. I heard it in your voice. You cracked a little bit on your intro. Yeah, nothing like Justin Boone up there with Matt Harmon being, I can't speak. I can't finish a sentence. He's a rookie. He didn't even know. So, no, it was great. Incredible weekend. Shout out Fantasy Six Pack, Joe Bond, Justin Bruni, Dave Eddy, the whole crew, the girlfriend, right? The house crew, the Canton house crew. We had a blast. I mean, I don't know what to say, man. We almost lost our fearless leader during the event. We had people come in and find us, and Joe Bond was lost to the wilds of the Fantasy Expo in the middle of the park. It was a great time. Great time.
I'll tell you what I'm so happy about out of everything is that I didn't fall and break my neck when I got up to pee 1 to 2 times per night while I was there, because those stairs, navigating those stairs in the dark was, I mean, when I would navigate the stairs during the daytime, you had the weird one stair that was like a stair and a half drop off. That was fine. You guys kept warning me about that stair. The worst stair, in my opinion, was the bottom two. They got smaller as you got down. Like they got
narrow.
more and more narrow. And you got down to where that door was, where it was closed. And it was like, is there a stair here? I don't know. And you feel like you're falling. I'd go down there, perfectly cognizant, ready to go, and just almost fall down the stairs at 12 p.m. And then I was getting up at 2:30 in the morning, trying not to wake you or Justin up, going down those stairs, and just like my adrenaline's going up. And there was literally some gap filling in the door. And then we finally put 2 and 2 together that patchwork on the door was a fill-in of someone's head who had fallen down the stairs. That thing was dangerous.
Well, you make a good point, too, because as you get down to the stair, you have to reach down and open the door, right? So you have nowhere for your feet or your body to kind of go as you're trying to get into that space to open the door. And then when you do open the door, it opens into the middle of the house. And at one point, I started to open the door and someone pushed it back on me. So I was like,
what are you doing that?
I was in limbo, like kind of leaning forward out the door, and then I get pushed and I fell backwards on the stairs, you know what I mean? Which is fine. But yeah, huge head hole in the door down the stairs to the first level. Kind of scary, but we made it. We navigated it. We got through the Keebler house, the tree house that they made for us up there. And man, just a great time talking with people in the fantasy industry. I wouldn't call it, hobnobbing. It's more like just like brothers in armsing, just talking about who you like, what the ADP says, who you're on this year. Got to chat with Marcus Grant from the NFL Network. Got to talk to Dave Kitchens, your boy from the Swolecast. JJ Zacharysen's boy as well this year. And yeah, we just had an all-around great time. Missed some Canton compadres, Bo and Jorge. Sorry you guys couldn't come this year. Hopefully you guys can get back there. But just all around great. The draft night out was fun. We got to draft together. Everything about the expo I really enjoyed, particularly Roosters. Shout out Roosters over there in Canton. Their wings are phenomenal. They have some of the best wings. I brought them home and munched them today. And sorry, Justin, you left your wings in my car, so I ate them as well. So just
I will say one thing, a negative, and I having been to the expo now 4 times and
4 times. Yeah.
And
With the Buffalo Bills, 4 straight years.
This is my first time at George's. I do have a Yelp,
menu upgrade,
an unofficial Yelp review that I'm going to do on the Fantasy Millionaires. Do not get the pretzel bites at George's. Those things were, I don't know what they're made out of, but it very similar taste to it was like a milk bone.
Yeah,
it was like eating,
it's like a dog biscuit.
It was like eating kibbles and bits.
Yeah, I will also say, shout out to Jerseys/M-Bar, which we were there like the whole time. They had a lot of good food, and according to some talent. So hopefully we can maybe break away and go to Roosters next year, though, for some of the food. That'd be my preference personally. But overall, great time. Really got to enjoy the friends, the fellowship, the food, beer, the whole thing. It was just a great time. So all fantasy expoed up, just like on a zenith of mania and high. ADP's popping in our head, getting to talk to like Matt Harmon face to face, getting to talk to Jim Coventry and Pat Doherty and Andy Barron, just getting to hear what they think about wide receivers and rookies and breakouts and RB battles. It is it's moved, Jerry. It's moved. So I'm super excited. Here's what we're going to do. Mike mentioned at the beginning of the show, we're going to do something called braids and fades. We did this last year. The braids are, like you said, you want to braid these players into your team. Fades, let them go. Let somebody else pick them up. Not that they're not somebody that you can draft, but maybe at their ADP. And so framing this whole conversation, it's not like I'll never draft this player. They're not my guy ever, but it's more given where the market is placing their value. This is what we're going to do in response to it. So with that being said, we're going to be using, let me do my little share screen here. Oh no, opened notes on my computer instead. I'm not fast enough, man. I got iMac real fast. I'm gonna try again. Okay. All right, you Phil, while I do some producer stuff here. While we start, I just want to know, have you changed any of your opinions about any of the players we talked about last week? Because I have. I'm ready to get Brian Thomas Jr. out of the first round, and I'm ready to put some running backs up in there. But I just wanted to hear what you have to say about any changes while I do some production value over here.
I didn't have any super changes to where I'm at as far as my draft process and players that I'm already interested in. But Brian Thomas, I think we both had said that we didn't want him in the first round. So
no, I was hedging. I liked the fact that he got so many targets and he was so efficient. But then we actually looked at some of them, and Mac Jones was primarily the guy there. And so that was not that's not ideal. It's not ideal when you think about that offense. It wasn't, a cohesive program that was building on success after success. And now they're going to take the next step this year. It was Mac Jones in and Trevor Lawrence in, and now they have Travis Hunter in too. So all the Travis Hunter mania, I think, at the draft. And people kind of really, that was one thing that stood out. There was a lot of hype for him before in the industry, best ball, stuff like that. But now you kind of got some of the reasoning why behind the Travis Hunter thinking, and he's not in our discussion today, but he does impact Brian Thomas. So I just think I'm going to move Brian Thomas a little bit further down my rankings because of the Travis Hunter emergence, I think, in the roles that he can play and the moving around the offense and things like that. So, but that's just me, that's just your boy.
It was
your screen share, so.
It was interesting that he played all first team offensive snaps and didn't play any first team defensive snaps. Like, that's good. Right. I mean, that's what I want. That's what I want to know. Right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, by the way, that was one of my favorite things we did too. My wife hates Chit. If you don't know Chit, too bad for you. But if you do know Chit, you love him. And my wife hates him. And we kept doing the whole time just to spite her. Also for the enjoyment factor. So, all right, here's what we do. We're looking at the Fantasy Pros consensus rankings. So these are experts. These are, 80, 90 experts so far have their picks. And we're going to go off of this because we know that other people are going to use this as well. We don't say that these are where we're drafting the players or even, anything like that. But this is the kind of the cheat sheet that we're using. So we left off last week kind of at that turn with Brian Thomas Jr., Drake London. I think Drake does belong in there. Christian McCaffrey, we talked about belonging in the first round as well. So now we have a few more RBs that we kind of talked about Ashton Genty a little bit last week, how he had been pushed up into the first round, but he's dropped now out into that second round. So here's what I want to know, just to kind of start off with you. We've got an RB battle right off the break. You're going to pick an RB in this range. I think there's several good ones, and I want to kind of see where you rank them. And so this is kind of like a little tier battle here between Christian McCaffrey, Devon Achane, Ashton Genty, and then our boy Derrick Henry, who's been pushed down a couple of spots in the ranking. So he's down here at RB20 or RB7, but overall drafting at the 22nd pick. So just off the break, last year, Derrick Henry, 16 rushing touchdowns, crushed it. He's being drafted way down here. The faith in the industry is that he will not be successful. He'll not repeat. We kind of talked about him repeating. Like, nothing's going to really stop him, barring injury or anything like that. The offense is good. They still have Lamar Jackson. Likely he's a little bit injured, but I'm not too worried about it. How are you kind of seeing him in relation to these other RBs? Do you have him ranked above Christian McCaffrey, right in the middle? I want to hear your thoughts on this.
Yeah, I have Derrick Henry. I would go Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, Achane. That's how I'm ranking those three. And I'm going Derrick Henry, to me, safest floor. I like picking safely around the turn there with a good, solid, I know I might go upside one pick. I want to get Derrick Henry. I might take Derrick. Let's say I'm 11. I'll probably take Derrick Henry. So I know I have a good floor, and then I can shoot upside on the next pick coming around back on the turn.
So it's like almost making sure you bag that Huzz, as the young people are saying. Make sure you bag that Huzz, and then come back and get whoever you need, because it'll push somebody too. No, I like that. If you look at his finishes in Tennessee and in Baltimore, right, my man has almost 4, because 294 points is close to 300. He owns at 4 300-point finishes. Like, he is remarkably sustainable. Derrick Henry is one of those RBs who defies the fall off the cliff. And I know people always are waiting, and that's what he's old. He's 30, 31. People don't like that. They don't like the age problems with the RBs, and I get that. But you can't look at the finishes and gawk at it. RB4, 8-4. He had a down year, injured in 22. He was an RB1, by the way, in 22 before, or in 21 before he got injured. Like, he was setting records that year before he was in. So you have somebody who, if he hadn't gotten hurt there, he's finishing in the top 5 for like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 7 straight seasons. Like, Derrick Henry is money in the bank, and this offense is built for someone like Derrick Henry just to be successful. So yeah, I'm with you. I think I'm going to go CMC, Derrick Henry, Devon Achane. I think that's my list in the order. And I think the main reason is because San Francisco does have some injury concerns. They've got, a little bit with Juwan Jennings doing a calf and half. I don't know what he's doing. He's going to hold in. His calf's injured. Ayuk's not going to be ready for the beginning of the season. They've got no more Debo. Ricky Pearsall's there. Love that. He's an upstart wide receiver that we'll talk about next week. But, CMC is primed to get, 7 targets a game. So I just think the beginning of the year, CMC will be more valuable. But Derrick Henry's touchdown equity is through the roof. I mean, CMC's is too. Those guys are neck and neck. But sell me on CMC. What do you see in him? Because you got him ranked above Devon Achane, who had 12 touchdowns last year, 6 receiving, 6 rushing. So Devon Achane found the end zone. What about McCaffrey coming off injury? Didn't look great before he got injured, or did look great before he got injured, excuse me. But, that one game he came back, it broke your heart when he pulled his calf out, So what are you thinking about our boy CMC?
Yeah, I mean, the PPR upside is there with him. So I get why you want to go CMC first, because I think a lot of sharps are looking at him as somebody that they're going to draft in the first round, because all the injury news on him is positive. Like, he's good to go. Garendo's injured. He's going to get back to the exact same role that he had, and we've seen what he can do in terms of that offense and what they want to do with him, which is get him the ball more than anyone.
Yeah. I mean, Derrick Henry's finishes are impressive. CMC's are otherworldly. I mean, he is number 1, number 2, number 1, number 2. But then in between, you have these 69, 54, 38. So it's boom or bust, like completely. Like your season is fucked, or you're winning your league maybe. So, particularly when he gets like 471 points that one year in Carolina, that was just that was unheard of. Over 1,000 receiving yards, that was nuts in the butts, man. So, yeah, well, it's neck and neck. And then let's talk about Devon Achane, because I think he belongs in that group too. And I want some of those other guys maybe a little bit more, but if I get him, I'm not unhappy. I'm pleased. I'm going to walk away with, if you steal him and I'm back in that, maybe I'm drafting 8th or something or 9th and he comes back around to me, I'll be completely happy with Devon Achane. He said it himself. He said he left yards on the table last year. He said he needs to get better, seeing the field kind of just, he said, I can do better. And I'm not saying I believe him like he sucked. He was a beast. He was a beast, elusive tackle rate. Once Tua got injured, that did kind of tank his value, right? And so we need Tua to be healthy this year. Hopefully he does stay healthy, but he almost scored 300 points. He finished 5th. He's being drafted RB7. I'm kicking the tires. I have no problem if he falls to me because of the wide receiver kind of greed that kind of happens. Sounds great to me. Are you as confident as I am in Devon Achane, or are you kind of a little bit more hesitant?
No, I'm as confident as you are as well. I'll take any of those guys. I'm very excited to get on my team. I think the upside with him is there too. Just the home run potential. I'm very excited that he's where he is right now, and he's definitely a braid for me. Like, I have no problem.
He's to me, he's just beginning too, right? Like we see the flashes of what he can be. I feel like he has that open field elusivity. He has the speed. He has the opportunity for reps and touches in this offense. And you look at the targets: 7, 7, 8, 7, 9, 9, 7. Like he caught most of them. 7 for 7, 8 for 8. 8 for 6. It's not, I mean, it's a low ADOT, but he's getting passes where he can, move in space.
He led the NFL for receptions by running back. So, this is a PPR podcast. So,
Right.
Devon Achane, give me some of him.
Yeah. And then I kind of touched on him last week, and he was in the first round last week. He was like number, I don't know, 11, or maybe he was not 15. He's been dropping. Ashton Genty, rookie, kind of best ball darling. I saw him going Scott Fish in the first round, pick 8 or 7. I mean, people were just so hyped on this guy. There's potential for him, as there always is when that young RB comes in, the Jonathan Taylor, the stud RB who can just catch and run, do everything. What do you see his role looking like in this offense? We had hope for people before. Your boy, right? I wanted to kind of touch on this for you because, you had a guy that you loved. I forget his name. I mean, you'll remember him, but you put a little eggs in his basket a couple years ago, and he didn't come through. He was just
you're talking about Zamir White? Is that
I wanted you to pull Zamir White. Yeah, Zamir White.
Yeah. I mean,
there's
oh my gosh,
in this
dude.
backfield.
My flag plants last year were so garbage, man. I remember I told you I was talked to Kurt, our buddy, called me up, hadn't talked to him in a long time, and he wanted to get fantasy advice, and I was like, all right, make sure
Zamir White. Don't leave your draft without Zamir.
Don't leave your draft without Christian Watson and Zamir White. So I mean, those are horrible ones. Man, Ashton Genty to me right now is just where his ADP is on Fantasy Pros. It's just, I have him as a slight fade. I can see myself definitely drafting him in the second round.
Yeah.
But just a little past where his ADP is and consensus rankings are. So
yeah,
I think all my only thoughts on him are that he's a Boise State product. You can see the talent just from all the highlights that we've seen, but we're going into the NFL, and I just think it's going to be really interesting to see how he deals with not that great of an O-line and getting 2 yards per carry a lot. there's going to be an adjustment for him. I mean, his skill set is phenomenal. This is another guy, and we've seen it happen year after year now. These Jahmyr Gibb, Bijan quality players that are so good that they're getting projected by the experts to be someone that you can spend this amount of draft capital on. For me, I'll take what I've already seen with Derrick Henry, CMC, and
Devon
Achane. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And so this is Debro. Love Debro. Just saw him at the expo. He says he's got him, as a top 5 back. I think there is potential there for all these running backs, given any other week to be ebbing and flowing. I'm interested just to see what happens in the AFC West this year, because the Broncos are on the rise. Made the playoffs last year. Chiefs are there. They haven't gone anywhere. Went to Super Bowl. I know they have some issues with health right now with some of their players, but I'm not too worried about it. And then the Chargers. Wait, they made the playoffs too. So everybody in your division, but you, made the playoffs last year. So
that's great. I mean, like,
So
yeah.
Wait, but with that being said, I think the PPR aspect of Chip Kelly's offense will help. I don't think they're going to line up and just run him into 12 personnel, run him into the safety. Like, maybe they'll put him in the backfield and shotgun and then do a little wheel route. I think they're going to be looking for ways to get him space with the football, not just be hard-headed. But I don't know yet. It's a new coaching staff. It's a new offensive scheme. It's a whole new thing. So
I think the point you made is just so solid for where I mentally kind of have him, not as high as Derek, is that you just said 6 games that all have great run stopping defenses, right? So
division above Saul. It really is. It's a tricky.
Yeah. I mean, that's 6 games that are going to be,
impactful to your fantasy.
Well, yeah, right. They're gonna bring down his fantasy points per game for the season. So, to me, I mean, if Bijan was there, I'd be thinking the same thing.
I mean, Bijan was there. I think I was in a league with people who could, not pay.
No, I'm saying if Bijan was on the Raiders.
Oh, yeah, I feel that. I mean, the matchups.
If Gibbs was on the Raiders, if Christian McCaffrey was on the Raiders, I don't like it.
I agree. Yes. My brain did not compute. Sorry, I got that expo brain. Just
Dude, what a fun weekend that was. So
foggy. Fun. I know, it's the best. Okay, so there are some more RBs as we kind of scroll through here. I just went to RB, so we can keep talking RB, or I actually can do. I'm going to do a little bit of a pivot because I like to talk tight ends, and we didn't get to talk tight ends yet at all. But there are 2 premium tight ends that are kind of dominating this second round landscape, and the order has been established. Brock Bowers is the first. Trey McBride is the second. You are a Trey McBride truther. You drafted him last year. He helped lead you to the playoffs, mini league. So, I know where you stand, that you are pro McBride. I want to know, who are you drafting first between these, and when are you drafting them?
Dude, Brock Bowers to the moon. I think he belongs in the first round. I mean, it's just, there's so many good guys to make that argument with, to put in the first round, right? Like we kind of agreed, like last week when we did our first round, we really agreed on like 10 of the guys.
Yeah.
So it's hard to push out CeeDee Lamb, right? I mean,
right, Puka Nacua, people like that.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I like, Brock Bowers has Geno Smith now. He had Aiden O'Connell last year as his quarterback. There's just so many things that you have to be excited about. And here's the other thing too. This is why I'm definitely someone that will pull the trigger on going hero tight end. Okay. 153 targets, 112 receptions, most receptions, only one more than Trey McBride. But again, Aiden O'Connell's his quarterback. He has so many upgrades in terms of what he's going to get. Only had 5 TDs. I just think every one of these numbers
are set to get better.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, maybe the targets are similar, but had almost 1,200 yards. So
10.7 yards per reception is wide receiver territory.
yeah, I was looking at one of these cool fantasy stats called wins above replacement, right? And it's complicated and sort of hard to explain, but it has a lot to do with standard deviation. And basically, what you're looking at when you're looking at wins above replacement is a player ceiling week to week, right? And this is how you win games in fantasy. And at the tight end position, he offers so much week to week in terms of the rest of the field, right? Because his ceiling is so high. He had a week 11 last year where he got 31 points. You're gonna probably win if the rest of your team just performs averagely and your tight end gets you 1 point. So the value is there so much for somebody like Brock Bowers and Trey McBride. I think those two guys for me, if I'm not getting one of those guys, I'm gonna wait. But both of those guys offer this tremendous amount of upside positionally, and particularly Brock Bowers.
Yeah, I like what you said about the touchdown equity as well, and the regression to the regression. You know what I mean? Most people just say progression, but whatever. The regression of the touchdown regression. Only 5. They were starting Amir Abdullah at the end of last year. Dylan Lobb was getting. I mean, they did not have a real running back. They did not have a star running back or even a sustainable running back. They had a journeyman and rookie and nobody. So now, yeah, imagine you get a play action on first or second down to Ashton Genty, and you're the linebacker. You gotta honor that. It's not Amir Abdullah. You know what I mean? You don't have to cheat. You got to honor that, because if he gets down, will force and get you going. You don't want to get on your back toes. So you come forward. Yeah, it was a play action fake, bitch. Guess who's going across the middle on deep seam? It's Brock Bowers, right? So I think it opens up the field for Brock too, who he wasn't great after the catch at Georgia. That wasn't his thing, and he wasn't his thing in the NFL, but he still does have some get up and run afterwards. You know what I mean? He reminds me a little bit of like a faster Travis Kelce, because he's not breaking lots of tackles, but now, I mean, Travis Kelce just goes down like a sack of potatoes. So Brock's not going to do that. He's going to at least give you a little bit of wiggle. But the amount of yards per game too, 66, 81, 79, 79, 84, 91, 90. 95, and he was just hitting 90s. He was Florida in the spring here, 91, 90, 95, 94, 90, 85, 94, 95, 91, 94. I mean, that's just consistency, buddy. I love that. So, yeah, I'm all in on Brock Bowers. And I think Trey McBride, I'm not going to draft him in the second round, but I'm happy. I've seen him drop to the third round. I would scoop his ass up in the third round right away.
Yeah, and here's the only thing I'll say about a pushback against that is that, okay, Brock Bowers to the moon. Brock Bowers had 112 receptions, 1,194 yards, 5 TDs. Okay, Fantasy Millionaires scoring system, BFF scoring system, 270 total points. Okay, that's phenomenal. Okay. Yeah. Like you go down and, last year you were, David Njoku was maybe like the 5th or 6th tight end off the board, 150 points, like 120 more points than your,
right. Almost double.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, so the argument for hero tight end, when that, unless there's an injury, you're going to get this sustainable level of weekly points per game. Okay. Somewhere around 16 points per game at the position. Trey McBride. Okay. Those, I just told you all the stats. Brock Bowers, 112 receptions. Trey McBride, 111 receptions. Okay. Brock Bowers, 1,194 yards. Trey McBride, 1,146 yards. Brock Bowers targets 153. Trey McBride, 147. And then Trey McBride only had 2 receiving touchdowns.
Yeah.
I mean, like I could see if I get the guy I want in the first round and the upside is there, I might play it safe and get Trey McBride in the second round because again, depending on where I am, I think definitely as I'm moving back towards the turn, I could see myself for sure pulling the trigger on Trey McBride because I think there's just still a lot of players left, going into round 3 that you could be happy getting on your team, and now you have a really positional advantage with Trey McBride. To me, people are putting George Kittle, as the next guy, and he is the next guy, but I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna reach there.
Yeah.
If I want one of those two guys, and after those two guys, I'll just see how the draft does for me.
Yeah, I didn't include Kittle kind of in this discussion because even though he has some upside in that offense too, we talked about why earlier. There's the lack of kind of filling the void and the need that's there. He's 12 picks later, or in a round later in drafts, ADP wise as well. So you don't need to kind of deal with that. It's not a either or situation like you're dealing with McBride and Bowers, but
Right.
I have seeing McBride drop to the third round. I think people are sleeping on him. And me, I like value. So I'm willing to wait and see. You know what I mean? Like if I do something where I get, the guy like in the first round, let's say I get Amon-Ra St. Brown, I get Brock Bowers, maybe I get back around to me. You know what I mean? We'll see how that goes. But you mentioned hero tight end. What about like superhero tight end where you both those
bully
bully
tight end?
tight end? Yeah. Well,
yeah, that's Bo's
being mean
strategy.
at that
Bo
point.
likes
Yeah,
to go bully tight end sometimes.
he also likes to draft Kyle Pitts. So,
Yeah.
it depends on who you're bullying with. Like if you do that, if you draft Kyle Pitts, you're bullying yourself at that point, So, yeah, do you like bully tight end? Like if you have the opportunity,
No.
would you do
No,
that?
I don't like hero tight end. I don't
Right.
like hero tight end. I only like
But
hero
you're
tight
willing to
end.
break glass for these guys. Like these guys, you're willing to go against what you normally want.
There were those years where Travis Kelce convinced me that hero tight end is an optimal draft strategy. Okay. If it
Yeah.
weren't for Travis Kelce, I would never have thought this way. And Brock Bowers fits. He fits the metrics. He fits the profile for someone that is going to rinse and repeat and most likely improve on his previous season. So the hero tight end to me with either of those guys they're worth the draft capital.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. We have one more kind of discussion before we're just gonna kind of go. We're gonna look at wide receivers and running backs in a little bigger chunks and just kind of go braid or fade over a group of them, right? But I want to talk about a QB battle now, right? So we've talked about an RB battle, kind of who you're looking at, a tight end battle. People are also at this point going QB battle. So there's multiple strategies here when you're drafting. Obviously, you've got 4 different key positions, and they're all going in the first 2 rounds, right? So people can be breaking off on their little route tree of life and going down certain paths to build their teams. We talked about that last week, kind of knowing what you're going to do. Are you willing to grab a early QB? And if that is your strategy, we want this to be for you because we've got 2 of the best here. We've got Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, who've been very similar, but Josh Allen's been a little bit more effective, I think, consistently finishing as the top QB, but Lamar has the upside. He has just, the ceiling is higher for him, whereas the floor seems to kind of be Josh Allen as the QB1. With that being said, you're up on the clock. You are a QB guy. I'm putting you on the spot here. Who are you taking and why?
Lamar Jackson, dude. Lamar Jackson. No, he's QB1 to me. The offense is the number 1 offense in the league last year, and to me, they're just everything is set up for them. Josh Allen. When we're talking about who's the best quarterback in the league, I think it's Josh Allen, and I think the data supports that, right? But they're neck and neck. Like, but in terms of statistically over the last 5 years, Josh Allen has really emerged as like the guy that it just does everything in the NFL. But Lamar Jackson is right there. In our league too. This podcast, we're going to be looking at things from a 6-point passing touchdown perspective. So
He
you
had
get
41 of those, by the way, last year. People who said he's a running back or he can't throw or he's a quarterback or a wide receiver or something, like homeboy was chucking and fucking.
Yeah, right.
Excuse my friend.
I mean, he was second in the league. You know who's tied with him too is Baker Mayfield.
That's crazy. Was it Joe Burrow number one? Did it go Joe B?
Joe Burrow number one,
Joe Burrow
right? But yeah, with the almost 1,000 yards he got with his legs, 915 yards. And that's just going to be there, right? So the floor to me is just so safe. Again, with Josh Allen, I think it's just, I just think the offense is not as dangerous. The offense maybe is as dangerous because of Josh Allen, but we saw last year they were the number one in terms of total yards for the season as an offense. So I'll go. Yeah, where did I get that shirt? Yeah, Fantasy Expo. Yeah. I'll go Lamar Jackson just because of his legs, dude, and the weapons that he has. So the whole offensive system to me.
Yeah, and you say all that, and while you're saying that, I am scuttling your boat a little bit with the data. I'm not trying to do that, but I pulled up your boy Josh Allen, and the last 6 years in fantasy football finished number 2 to Lamar, number 1 to himself, number 2, number 1, number 1. So, like you said, this man is just consistent. He is consistent. And he did level off. He kind of went down a little bit last year, but his team, I think he passed for 30 touchdowns, 28, or their team did. They had like 30 and 30. They were like really balanced. They scored 60 touchdowns as an offense. So there are touchdowns. If that shifts a little bit, just a little bit, right? And he passes for a couple more, and maybe James Cook doesn't rush for as many as he did last year. There's variance to be had in here. So I'm going to go the other way and say if you're looking for safety, right, and stability and less variance in your weekly scores, and you're just like, I just want to set it and forget it, really, honestly, Josh Allen is your guy. If you're going for like game-winning, tournament-busting, upside that might not work every single week, I think Lamar is incredible. And I think it's boom or bust, right? And not even bust. It's like boom or floor, if you want to say, like, are you looking for the boom or are you looking for the floor? And sometimes you want the floor because you're looking for boom in other places. So like some people, we had a guy, I love him. His name was Fish, nickname Fish. He would draft for boom every single fucking player on his team. He'd draft rookies, he'd draft cute, like everyone was boom. And his team would like be incredible or be the worst team in the league, blow up in your face. So Josh Allen is that safety net, I think, where Lamar is your TNT. He could go off for 48 points in the game. Whereas, you pretty much Josh Allen's going to get you 28 points every game. You're set 30 points a game.
But like I said, both of those guys to me, I'll take either one. So it's like I like those are the two guys. But since we are in rounds 2 for 4, I will say this in terms of draft strategy. I want to get one of the probably top 5 guys in these rounds. I want to get Burrow. I think Burrow might win the MVP this year. So, we're putting Josh Allen, we're putting Lamar Jackson ahead of Joe Burrow because of the safety that they provide with their legs. If I was gonna, just pull my sack out and make $1,000 bet with you, I would like Joe Burrow ends up as the number 1 QB this year. If you are playing in a 6-point per passing touchdown league.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he could very well be. And ours is. And some leagues are. And 4 and 6 does make a big difference. That variance lifts the running QB when it's 4 points above the passing QB significantly. But Lamar Jackson last year only rushed for like 2 or 3 touchdowns. So it wasn't like Lamar was doing what Josh Allen did either. Like he was getting those passing touchdowns too. So point in your favor, sir. Damn it. I'm arguing the case for the defendant here, but yeah, I think both of them are really solid options. And then Joe Burrow, looking at T. Higgins, we'll get to him in a minute when we do, kind of second, third round wide receivers. But, 12 games last year, he did what he did, and he could do that in 17 games. He could be through the roof, which would make Joe Burrow through the roof. You know what I mean?
Dude,
So
how about this? I'm going to go out on a prediction right here since we do a podcast.
just do it.
And
Say
we get to clip it up. Joe Burrow breaks the passing touchdown record this year and wins MVP. How about that?
I love it. Let's put a little money on that, and we got little DraftKings futures. Just put like $20 on the MVP. You believe in your boy? I do too. Nothing wrong with that. Bruni, thank you for checking us out. We love Lamp as well. Okay. All right. Here's what we're going to do. We kind of got into the weeds on some of these guys because I wanted to. That was kind of the bulk of the show, was to kind of argue over some of these bigger plays and whether or not, who you like and what you're going to do. Now we're going to do a little bit more rapid fire, not as long and in depth, but we're just going to kind of give you groups of wide receivers here and talk about, yay, nay, braid, or fade, right? And so we'll start. Well, actually, I'll let you start. You want to start running back or wide receiver? Because we've got 2 chunks of them to both do.
Well, we've talked some running back, so let's go wide receiver.
All right, I thought so. That's what I was thinking too. Wide receiver. Okay, so personally, we didn't touch on AJ Brown, Lad McConkey, or JSN. So we'll look at them kind of as a group because they're in that second round. Some of the prominent wide receivers. AJ Brown not practicing. He's reading though. He's on the sideline with his book. He's motivated. He's got a hamstring injury, which has been something he's had over the course of seasons. So not the end of the world, but he's kind of hanging around. He's a top 10 wide receiver. Finished last year as wide receiver 10. So he's just in that tier. He's being drafted as the wide receiver 10. I mean, just right in that area. So nothing wrong with AJ Brown being there. Lad McConkey, we saw the upside. Keenan Allen just did sign, and then Jackson Smith and Jigba. He had 157 targets last year with other people there, with Lockett and Metcalf on the team. Wasn't like they weren't there. Lockett fading, Metcalf hurt, but still, my guy was getting it in. How confident are you in these guys, and rank them? How are you drafting those 3 when you get into that round if you're going wide receiver?
I will go ahead and draft it exactly how it is on the board there. I'll take AJ Brown. I'll take Lad McConkey right neck and neck with JSN. And I could see myself, this is August 11th, flipping McConkey. In fact, no, I'm going to flip it right now. I'm going to go JSN and then Lad.
Not bad. Not bad at all, man. And I'll tell you the reason why. I mean, JSN here, let's see, he's wide receiver 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not wide receiver 9 last year. I was wrong, by the way. AJ Brown was getting drafted wide receiver 10. He was not. He was like wide receiver like 17 or something last year. So I'm going to check myself on that. But yeah, wide receiver 9. I'm sorry, 137 targets. I inflated him 20 targets. That's pretty efficient. 73% catch rate. He had over 1,100 yards. Like JSN is somebody who I know people are a little skittish on him, and new offense for Sam Darnold. But I mean, I think he is the weapon. He's the guy. He is it. So I got no problem there, and nothing against Lad, but that's a run heavy offense that he's in. Like that is one of the most run heavy offenses in the league who specializes. They got a new running back too. Now, they did lose their left tackle, which means they might have to pass more because they will not be able to road grade people as efficiently. But I drafted Lad, by the way, in the draft night out with IBT Media. So I'm not against Lad. I'm with you though. I think I should have gone JSN. I'm a little JSNV now. I'm not going to lie. Putting that word out there in the space, JSNV, it just means somebody else has JSN and you don't, and you're envious. But it's a,
How do you rank those 3?
JSN, AJ Brown, Lad McConkey, and I'm not against AJ Brown or anything like that. I love AJ Brown. I'll draft him, but I'm favoring Devontae Smith this year, like I always do, for value. And people made a good point actually it was yesterday. Yeah, just yesterday. So it was last week. Well, yeah, it wasn't last week. It was yesterday at the Expo that, Devonta Smith is a top 10 wide receiver. If anything happens to AJ Brown, the targets are going to be there. He would go to the moon. And so it's not like RB handcuffs, and wide receiver handcuffs don't exist, but wide receiver 2 theory does. And I think I'm going to be shifting. So he's not a fade completely for me, but in that round, I'm going to go JSN, which means somebody else is going to get AJ Brown. So that's just kind of, that's how I'm doing it. So, all right, let's pivot to the next group of wide receivers. And they start with Garrett Wilson, T. Higgins, and Tyreek Hill. Woo! Ooh, we talked about Tyreek Hill at the Expo. We got all into it. I'll start with Garrett Wilson for you. Braid or fade?
Fade. All those guys are.
Ooh, a whole batch of fades.
At their Fantasy Pros expert consensus rankings, I'm fading all of that.
Yeah, last year between Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams, there was 295 targets, I believe. There might not be 295 targets in the offense this year to anybody, right? Like add it all up together. So I'm a little worried about this new offense and the install. I know he'll be wide receiver 1, but I'm a little concerned also. Justin Fields, he is great for running upside, but he's never been able to really elevate a wide receiver 1.
He's going to be a great late round QB. He's going to be a great but Garrett Wilson, I'm not drafting him in the second round. So that's all it is. I'll draft him. I mean, he gets you 1,000 yards. Like
in the third round, he's value.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. I mean, but I'm not going to draft him in the end of the second round. There's just lots of other people that I'm more interested in.
The running backs there, we'll talk about them in a minute too. Sprinkle some of those running backs in, like Dave Chappelle would do it. Never mind. All right, T. Higgins, talk to me about T. You said no to T because T's a braid for me, but I want to hear why he's a fade for you first.
Yeah, it's where they have him. I think the talent is there, but just given his history in the NFL, you have to factor in that this guy's just not, he's not one of the healthiest dudes, and even if he is, you have Jamar Chase, so I just think it's a real big ask that he's going to finish as a top 10 wide receiver with Jamar Chase, so then that's, around where he's being drafted.
He's being drafted wide receiver 15. So he's beginning of wide receiver 2, in that he's in that pack. This is what I think you're going to get from him, which you can just see on his, he's going to play 12 games, right? Miss a couple games. And in those games, last year, and the year that he played 16, he scored roughly the same amount of points. He had 109 targets both years, 73, 74 receptions, around 1,000 yards. Last year he had less yards, more touchdowns. My thought is you're getting him at wide receiver 15, which is kind of 2 spots up from where he finished last year. Not that expensive if he stays healthy, right? If he stays healthy, he does have wide receiver 12, wide receiver 13 potential. It is a big ask, but I think the Browns suck. I think the Steelers are going to be a little bit worse than people think this year. And the Ravens, for some reason, they just play these crazy games against the Bengals where they score like 40 points against each other. And so I have not a lot of confidence in him per se to like anchor my team, but man, I might go back to the well. I'm going to factor in he's going to get hurt a couple games. But Joe Burrow is the real reason why I'm in on T. Higgins, right? Because Joe Burrow is so good. So that's
I'm in on T. Higgins. It's just where
not where he's being drafted. Yeah.
Yep. There's just
no second round. No, he's got to drop to the. And here he's kind of. I've been in drafts where he's middle of the third round, and that's more where I've seen him go. This is too early for me. Completely too early. He's a pick 30. pick 32, 31, not pick 24. I'm with you on that. I think it is too early. So, okay.
I'm
All
way
right.
more interested in those four running backs.
Yes, that's
Chase
the
Brown,
perfect.
Bucky Irving, Josh Jacobs, Jonathan Taylor. Like, that's where I'm at.
Yes. Let's talk about these gentlemen of leisure. You got Brown, Irving, Jacobs, and Taylor. Which one of these stands out to you as maybe somebody who's overvalued in this group and one who's undervalued? And I mean, they're 4 picks, 5 picks apart, but how would you kind of reshuffle the deck if you had a say in it, which you do?
Yeah, so I think that they're all undervalued. So like that's where I'm saying like I'll fade those receivers and move those running backs up. You know what I mean? Like those to me are all second round picks. Like I mean, uh, to me, Jonathan Taylor is the one I'm most interested in, but Josh Jacobs last year, dog. I mean, just a TD machine, and they had no problems giving him so much of the red zone equity in that offense. So I can't see why you don't love him. And then Bucky Irving, you know, he was somebody that we were listening to at the draft that different people, I mean, at the expo that different people are on. And, um, he was someone last year that really did emerge and is on this really, kind of sexy offense now that, led by Baker Mayfield, that he's going to have a lot of red zone opportunities. And, meanwhile, he showed last year in terms of his efficiency, number 5 in yards per touch, number 5 in evaded tackles, number 3 in juke rate, number 6 in explosive rating. I mean, I'm just really interested in all those guys, man. That's why I'm just kind of, I feel like, and we saw this last year that, particularly in the PPR world, wide receivers, the landscape for football has really just changed where now you have 9 receivers in the first round, according to ECR, and running backs are getting devalued. And then you just have all these guys here. So if you're not one of these super stud wide receivers, I'm pushing you back so I can get one of these running backs.
Yeah. I like what you're saying. Bucky Irvin, just to give you a perspective, the last 9 weeks of the season, he had 5 top 10 finishes as RB 7, 3, 1, 5, and 9. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, he wasn't even getting, if you look at his snap share in those games, he got 46, 52, 54, 55. At the end, he got 72. So in most games, he was just splitting carries, right? Wasn't even, 60%, 70%, rush rate. So even just goes up to just a nice solid 60% this year. He could be a top 10 back easily. So, but
I would even push Kyron Williams up into this tier.
Yeah. I was he rolled into the other round, but no, I agree. And with him signing, I think there was some trepidity between, the kind of the community. What are people going to do? He signed. He's getting paid.
And that's again, he fits that Josh Jacobs mold where when they get down in the red zone, it's his time to shine. They love to just go. They might run the ball 3 times, both those teams, when they're, on the 10 and just run it in. Like that's what they'll do.
Yeah. And he's finished 7th and 7th around 272, 255. So his medium season incoming could be 260, could be 280, could be 250. That's good. Yeah, I'll take that. Mm-hmm. I'll take that for sure. No, I like Kyron. Kyron is a braid. The only fade in here for me was Chase Brown at RB8. I love Chase Brown. I got him last year. And maybe it's just the fact that I got him later on in round 7 or 8 at a value that I can't just pay up. And that's just kind of my own, once you got a cheap price on something, you don't want to overpay anymore. Your brain thinks that way. Who knows? But I just think I think there's running backs here that have more upside in the offense. Cincinnati's offense needs a running back, but it doesn't run through the running back, necessarily, right? You have Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. That is the key that stirs the drink. And so, just with that being said, I would rather have Jonathan Taylor or Bucky Irvin. I think my rankings would be Bucky Irving, Josh Jacobs, Kyron Williams, Jonathan Taylor, Chase Brown. Right. So I'm pushing Chase Brown kind of the end of that swirl of running backs. I'm happy if I get him. I'm just not reaching right now for him. And I've seen him go at the end of the second round, beginning of the third round. I just kind of wait a little bit. I'd rather have Kyron Williams and a couple other players there. Maybe even George Kittle if all those other running backs are gone. Or your boy Jaden Daniels. I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah. So, okay. All right. Speaking of that, we do have a little quarterback segue here. We've got you already kind of talked about Joe Burrow, but in this, he's not in this round, but we do have Jaden Daniels and Jalen Hurts back to back, but we'll throw Burrow in there too, because he is being drafted around. I've seen him in lots of different places, but they don't have him. ECR does not have him in this spot, but
yeah, I don't know if they do the 6 points per touchdown pass either in this too.
No, they might not, but let's just say that for all intents and purposes, we're doing 6 points here. How are you? Are you going Burrow right after those two, and then Jaden and Jalen? Are you doing Burrow before Lamar, or are you going up 101 with Burrow? How are you looking at him?
Yeah, I really, really am excited about Jaden Daniels this year. So, it's nice that Burrow's going so late. I'm would love to be able to just wait and get Joe Burrow in the fourth round. I think I'm going to win if that can happen. I also, I just have no problem maybe pulling the trigger early on really any of those four guys, depending on how my draft is going. I am going to play some modified version of Hero QB this year, where I am not going to wait. I don't think
you're not JJ Zachary'sing it this year. There's no late round for you.
Not for me, not this year. No. I'm not doing it. If it happens, it happens because I get sniped, and then the draft could dictate terms for me. But I would love to get Jaden Daniels this year. I really, really think he has a shot at finishing QB1. I think as long as we can figure out this Terry McLaurin situation. Which I think they will. I just think, again, it's August 11th. I this just happens every year. It happens with star-stud wide receivers. I think this is somewhat peculiar because he's so old. So there's obviously a big disparity in what he wants and what the franchises. I just believe they'll figure it out. Yeah. And he's going to have Deebo Samuel. And I personally believe that he ends up being the rushing leader for quarterbacks this year. Like I think he takes some of the guardrails off. Like I think we're gonna have some 50-yard like that
RG3s.
Yeah, that war thing is going to be really cool with Jaden Daniels this year, because he's going to have those games where he just goes ham, dude. Like he has 50-yard runs.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, you want to explain what that is, because it's a really cool thing that he does. He started doing it in college.
What?
You said the war thing?
Oh no, I was saying like the win above replacement.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the VAR thing he does. I thought no.
Yeah, I was talking about like so his ability to just average way more on a points per game basis than like the standard deviation at the position.
Yeah. Game log wise, he really picked it up too in the second half. I mean, 32, 28, 23, 36, 32. That's a nice way to end the fantasy season. If he was your QB and you were in the playoffs, that did not suck. So, okay. Mm-hmm. All right. I like that. All right. We got a couple more minutes left in the show. We might go over our hour projected, but that's okay. Maybe 5-10 minutes over. We do need to get to another group because I like those running backs. But there's another group of running backs we could do, or another group of wide receivers. So I'll let you choose in our tilt-a-wheel of rounds 2 through 4. Wide receiver or running back, sir?
I can go wide receiver.
All right. Wide receiver. Now, this is an interesting area. Oh, by the way, I'm fading Tyreek Hill. We didn't talk about him at all. I'm fading Tyreek Hill. The next group of wide receivers that you come upon is the Marvin Harrison Jr., DJ Moore, Terry McLaurin, DK Metcalf, and then there's Devonta Smith and Cortland Sutton, right? So this is kind of a bunch of mid, could be breakouts, could have great seasons, could do something. Terry McLaurin last year finished in the top 7 of wide receivers. He's down 13 points or 13 draft spots. So there's value to be had. Who are you looking at in this range as a braid? And then who's somebody who you are just straight fading?
Well, I'll say that I'm imagining Terry McLaurin signs. So Terry McLaurin is going to be my biggest braid. Like he's the most undervalued here. So we're imagining 3 weeks and 3 days from now that
he's on the field, he's been practicing, things are going well.
That's the biggest.
Yeah. And if he's not, I'm not drafting him. If he's not in camp and you're drafting in your draft, I'm kind of just, there's always going to be a delay because that team has moved on for the install and he's not part of the install. And he'll get to the install eventually, but when do you start alarm belling for him? Like for me, it's you're drafting in August, 29th or, September 7th or whatever. I don't know. What about you?
Our big money buy in the BFFs league is August 30th. If we don't know by then, I think we can,
it'll be a fade.
Yeah.
It'll be a fade. Okay. All right. Braid for now, potential fade.
Huge braid. If
big braid.
I expect him to start. You're going to start seeing that green arrow next to that name, and it's just going to keep going up. He finished in BFF 7 last year. And there was a lot of touchdowns there, so people are scared of that. I'm not. He just balled out last year.
He's a beast. He's a beast. Somebody who did not ball out last year and who is a fade for me this year too is Marvin Harrison Jr. I think he's okay. I do not like how they run him in that offense as a true X. He is not have a developed enough route tree to be able to do and get other movement. Matt Harmon talked about how Drake London last year, who had been an X, he'd been only running X pretty much, as a main component of his game. He was moved all over the formation and just broke out, was able to move off press coverage, was able to get snaps out of the backfield in motion and just plays where you can free release and you can get into your route and get where you need to go, create space, leverage, whatever it is. And so I don't like Marvin Harrison Jr. He makes space in the middle of the field and Kyler Murray can't see. He cannot see where he is. It's not even a joke. It's not even being mean. Where he is on the field, he can't see him, and so I think he'll get better this year, but I'm not confident in Marvin Harrison Jr. If he falls to the late fourth round, maybe I'll sniff him if other wide receivers, but I don't feel comfortable. That's just me. He's a fade. How about you?
Yeah, I'm with you. That's another reason why I like Trey McBride so much is I just think that's about as far as Kyler Murray can see. There's that big dude right there, and I'll just chuck it that way.
Yeah. Finishing as wide receiver 30 was a real kick in the nuts. And he was drafted as wide receiver, 10, end of the first round last year. So and the community is down on him. So there's a chance he rebounds. But to be gifted wide receiver 18, that's 12 more spots than you earn. That's too much for me right now because I would rather have Terry McLaurin. DJ Moore is not a braid for me, but I would rather have DJ Moore than Marvin Harrison Jr. Yep. DJ Moore had a bad attitude last year. He was the team captain. He did not act like one. He was openly and adamantly complaining. Now they got him running in the backfield as a running back. So watch out, DJ Moore. You get what you complain, you're going to get, fuck around and find out. In 2023, he was wide receiver 6. So he was a top, wide receiver 1 is what he was. Last year, he fell to wide receiver 2, which is kind of where he has lived in most of his career. I'm okay with him, but I think there's just an opportunity here for Rome Odunze because I don't think Caleb not that he didn't have a great rapport with him, but the percentage wise, he had 140 targets. You got to love that. But 98 receptions. I don't know. His yards were way down, like 400 yards down from the previous year. Did not break 1,000. So
I think DJ Moore is exact same for me. He's not a braid or fade, and it's like it's just depending on where you feel about your team. Like I could see, let's say I start out 0 RB, and I'm now in the 4th round, and then DJ Moore is my 4th wide receiver. Yeah, I'll do that. You know, what I
right,
mean?
right. No,
Sexiness. You know, so but he's not. I'm not reaching for him. Like, I think that his ECR is right.
Yeah, I do have to go back. We did forget Mike Evans. I'm in on Mike Evans this year because of the Godwin injury. I don't think we need to talk too much about it, but I think he will get some reps off, and I do like Emeka Ibuka. You want to get him later and get a couple shares of that offense? I'm down with that as well. I am pro Mike Evans. I want the world to know that. I think last year, he struggled a little bit with the injury in the middle of the season, but he came back and he had some decent finishes. So I'm pro Mike. I'm not like super excited to have Mike, but I'm not reaching for Mike. I'd rather get Kyron Williams at that point, or Josh Jacobs or Bucky Irvin, something like that. Honestly, but I'm not against him. I'll tell you something who I am against, and maybe you're going to be against me, and that's fine. And this is not because of DK Metcalf. I like DK Metcalf. And maybe this is just my bias. I'm watching my guy Aaron Rodgers go through drills where some fat, old 45-year-old white guy is chasing him with a bag. And Aaron Rodgers is not moving spryly to get away from that. And then I just imagined, I don't know. Who is there? Some guy who plays for the Browns, some big, huge, bulking human man who could run around and like terrorize him for 2 games. And then you're like, yeah. And then the Ravens have guy, and the Bengals sign their guy. Aaron Rodgers is a problem for me with DK Metcalf. If you tell me Aaron Rodgers is healthy all year, I'm signing up for DK Metcalf. Put him on the board. Yes. I think Aaron Rodgers is fuel for fodder this year. Honestly, I think time has come. Ayahuasca, another season down the drain. I think Pittsburgh does not make the playoffs. Those are my hot takes this year. I have just got bad vibes, bad juju, whatever it is, on Aaron Rodgers. And so maybe Mason Rudolph can come in there and stabilize DK Metcalf, but no one is as good as Aaron Rodgers. So we'll just see. That all hinges on his health. So I would say he is boom or bust. So if you're a gambler and all your rest of your team is like the floor, and you feel safe, and you got Josh Allen and you got Bucky Irvin, go DK Metcalf. But if you are, you're booming, I don't know. I'm worried. What about you?
Double stampies, dude. I don't have anything more to add besides that. I'm nervous about what that offense is going to be with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. All right. I'll give you 2 last wide receivers, and then we'll hit our last few running backs, and we'll get out of here. What do you think about Courtland Sutton and Devonta Smith? I already expressed my love for Devonta Smith. You have been a Courtland Sutton truther many, many moons. I want to just put that out there into the space because, I've listened to you as the Sherpa of Courtland Sutton. You drafted him last year. It paid off for you. I'm comfortable with him and Smith there. I'm targeting them. What about you?
So I will, I'll say slight fade and slight braid for Devonta Smith. I would take some other people there before I would take Courtland Sutton, and I might take Devonta Smith before then. I'm with you in wide receiver 2 theory for Devonta Smith, and the consistency is just there, and the equity he would have in that offense if there is anything that goes bad with AJ Brown. I like Devonta Smith this year. He would be, I think, a really phenomenal 3rd wide receiver on your team if you can do it that way. So I'm with you on Devonta Smith this year, and he was getting a lot of love at the Expo as well. So
oh yeah. So not as in on Sutton because that was your boy before. So you kind of
I'm not out. I just would push him back slightly, so it's a slight fade.
I mean, he had never had a top 35 finish. He was 35 was his best before last year. So he did have his best season, 50 more points, and he played every game.
I was just listening to somebody, I think it was at the Expo, just talking about how they're actually fading Bo Nix and just, all the RBs that they have on that team and the upgrade that they have at defense and what they're most likely to do. It just, maybe I wouldn't have him at 45. Maybe I'd have him at like 52. I'll draft Cortland Sutton for sure.
But just not at that price. Yeah. Yeah. I think I might have made him my wide receiver 3 on a team. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Last 3 minutes, we'll be out of here. We're going to talk RBs. We've got a few that have fallen for different reasons. We've got Alvin Kamara, terrible Saints offense. Looks like it's on the horizon. Breece Hall, underperforming, did not live up to hype. Kenneth Walker, often injured. And then interesting, James Cook holding out, holding in, kind of not getting a contract done. So there's questions on all 4 of these RBs. Tell me right away.
And then Omarion Hampton as the last guy.
He's in the. Oh, he moved up. Omarion Hampton. I like that. Yes. Braids, fades. We're leaders in the clubhouse. What are you looking like for these RBs?
How about I love all of them. And I drafted Breece Hall up at the Expo on my team. He's probably the biggest fade out of that group for me. I have been really kind of deep diving, being up there and getting ready for the show. I really am excited about Omarion Hampton. I think that's the guy that out of all of those is the biggest break because you're getting them, at the end of the 4th, beginning of the 5th, and I don't know, man. Najee Harris. I don't think if he was healthy, he was going to be the number 1 running back on that team. Like I think, that they're going to be that their plan was to make this guy the guy, and now he's missing depth reception. Like I mean, he blew up one of his eyeballs. So I think that guy is like he's not even a worthwhile handcuff anymore. Like I think this guy is
he's the
probably
guy.
has the most upside out of all of them. And then of course, I don't know, Kamara too. It's just again and again and again, baby. Like, come on. That guy's gonna be in the Hall of Fame, dude. Like we're gonna go up to Canton, 5-10 years from now, whatever it is, and we're gonna see all those braids, and we're gonna be like, we had you in our braids, dude.
Yeah, we braided you. This is the thing. He's never finished worse than RB16, dude, in his career. Never. I mean, and so the only kind of issue that I'm going to say, and we're going to take a look at the game logs to see if I'm right. And he kind of shut it down, at the end of the season there last year. And I think that the ideal situation for Alvin Kamara is he gets traded to a team who needs Alvin Kamara on their team, and he gets used, and then they're like, hey, we need to do something different because they're not going to be good this year. And so I'm just afraid of like, what's the purpose? What's the purpose of your team? You know what I mean? Are you trying to get Alvin Kamara like a record? I don't know. Maybe so. I don't know. But I don't have faith for him at the end of the season. I'm a little worried. I just kind of like to have him as my RB. He flashed in the beginning, he had some lulls in the middle, and then they shut him down at the end of the season. So, oh man, I don't know. I think he's a super braid, but then I maybe a trades to get paid candidate after a little bit of shinage. So we'll braid him for now and maybe trade him later. So, all right. And lastly, not least, actually, we forgot 2 people, Kenneth Walker and James Cook. Your boy's James Cook. You drafted him last year. You told people to draft him. You're all over him. You drafted him. What's he doing?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, again, we're in August 11th, so we gotta hear more news. But it's sort of like a Terry McLaurin situation where it's like, we get to August 30th, like, dude, come on, man. That guy is the most severely underranked out of everybody, dude. I mean, come on. I mean,
Super value.
oh, super value. So, I kind of hope that it stays this way for all the way up until, towards the end of the season. And
You
then we get
rascal.
good news. And then there's just not enough time for the market to react.
You son of a bitch.
And he's the biggest braid out of all of them.
I like it. All right. Lastly, I love Kenneth Walker, but somebody said it really well at the Expo. I kind of agree with him. Kenneth Walker runs like Chris Carson runs, and that was with reckless abandon at defenders. And the injuries are there for him. And I'm not going to say injury prone because that's not how we do it. But he has missed some time, and that stinks because look, that's the time you need your second round or your second RB, your RB2. You need him there. That's the playoffs. So I love his upside, but their offensive line is a bit of an issue. So right now, depending on where you catch me, he is a fade. But if he slips into the 5th round, I might braid him up. Your 5th round, I'll get him. So all right. Appreciate everybody tuning in and checking us out here at the Fantasy Six Pack. Before we go, let me do the crawl, right? fantasysixpack.net. Go check it out. Get 15% off. That's a promo that we're running. And also sign up for Fantrax. Fantrax.com/fantasy six-pack to create your account. Free customizable leagues. It's free. You can create what you want, do what you want. Go check out that with the fantasysixpack.net. Love Joe Bond. If you want to talk to me about any of those stories or Mike, hit us up. We will share more details. It was a lot of fun. Collins, I'll let you get us out of here. Next week is rounds 6 through 8, I think, or 5 through 8, or something like that. So we're getting the mid
4, so we'll do 5 through 8 next week.
The mid rounds, and then one more show after that will be late round sleepers, and we'll be getting into the season. So I'll let you get us out of here.
All right, man. Stay locked and loaded with the Fantasy Millionaires as we keep doing this thing and help you win rounds. Now we've got you through 1 through 4, and we're going to take you all the way to the end.
Excellent. We'll see you guys next week, same time, 5 p.m. Peace.